I don't know how to trade neutral when we're in a neutral territory. So here all right, let's just take a look at this. So last week, we were talking about that this is the target level, 87.7 or 87.6 is the level to be to aim for. So I took the trade over here and I took the trade over here. I usually try to get to this level 3 times for the week. That's because usually it's the amount I can gain is 4x and above, and so I tried 3 times. It hasn't succeeded here, or over here. I took it, um, but I should have. I don't know this period over here. There's a reason why I should not have done this. Um, After this downtrend over here, so we have these 3 red drops. Yeah, oh sorry, 4 red drops, and that usually after the third or fourth is when the price is going to turn around. This was my indication that hey, the trend is changing, which would then change to green. But if we take a look at global liquidity, especially the offset, let's go back to the daily. We are in this period of basically consolidation for until the beginning of April. And I shouldn't really be taking long bets in when we're in the middle of the window of weakness from February 20th to March 20th. But I can't help myself. Um, Anyone can catch a fish when they're jumping out of the river. When they catch a fish when it's dry, like in Alone, when they catch that fish and they haven't eaten for 7 days, and they're like, "This is the best fish in the world." That's how it feels to me when I catch a nice bounce like this. So like I caught this bounce up with the Trump tweet, knowing that we were going to head back down anyway. I didn't care about that, so I was hoping for something like that, something else like that, but it didn't happen. I mean, it could still happen uh, before 8 o'clock tonight. I doubt it, but we'll see.
I'm on it.
So the question, so the trades this week, like the way it should have been traded, is that for the weekly trade, you try it once or twice, it failed, and just let it go. Sometimes it doesn't happen, and if we close out this week and this hasn't been touched, the idea is that it still is a long term target, but we don't know the time frame in which will occur, because the other price, which is down here, the 74. So this price over here, the 74 that we've been aiming for, basically the price is fighting in between these two levels. But it's just fighting between these two levels. Um, and I suspect that what'll happen is that we're coming up to this bounce of liquidity. I'm actually hoping that for this week, the price will jump up over here to 80 to actually hit that 87.7, and then here towards the end of the month, actually by the end of this week, I think we then drop to 74, and then we rocket up. Not here. We rocket up over here. So, if we take a look at the next level that's going to show up tonight, it'll be around 81.9. So this will be the level, which means we're very close to it, and it should pull the price downwards. Or before, as what happens in at the end, how we generally fall into the weekly close if we're in a bearish trend.
Yeah.
We could fall to below this level. This new level shows up. This 81, 82 level shows up as the next weekly VWAP. We bounce into it and then we hit lower.
Wonderful.
So it all depends how we close this week. We don't actually want to take the candle here at 8 o'clock. We want to wait till after that. So like at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, you want to see what the price does and then take your trade. If we're below this level, I would take a trade up. Well, the most you can really get up here, if you get up here, is, oh yeah, 3%. That's more than enough. You can get 150% gain on that one. I would wait to see if we get down to the lower end of this range. So the price, if we hit, anywhere below 79 and lower, I would take the long there. If we close by 8 o'clock, the 2 hour candle on the 8 o'clock time, if you close there, then I would take a trade up to 89, 82, and then short. If we're above this level, I would take a bounce to from at 82, go up to 87, and then short. But either way, I'd be looking for a short to get into.
Right.
Then once we get down to the 74 level, I would take a long, expecting that, yeah, because week will get us to, yeah, next week would be the 23rd, and that would be right around over. We can really get a low for a while. Basically, until this liquidity starts turning up. So we go back to the daily chart. Liquidity really turns up around here. I'm just trying to allow for the possibility that I'm wrong in my offset for the liquidity.
Hmm.
There are people who take offset it by, I offset it by 78 days. Some people offset it by 107 days. Other people offset it by 50 days. Like it's off. So I don't know exactly when we'll get this right up. I just don't see that it happens before the Fed meeting on the 19th. So basically by this Wednesday. And so for me, that's plenty of time for us to get to 74. But we'll see. Um,
Wait, hang on. Okay. So the way this works is that we start with the previous week and then we do the next week. Have you done the previous?
yeah, the previous week was just my mistakes. It wasn't very clear calls to do here. The weekly trade was up to 87.7. We didn't get there. So that trade failed. And the daily trades would have just been buying at the daily bounces, which also wasn't pretty good. These areas where we switch from bearish to bullish or bullish to bearish can be pretty hard, especially with low liquidity. So over here, the idea is that after this week on this here, the daily, we should short. The difficulty with that is that I don't know what target to aim for, right? Because the lowest target here is at the 74 level that we're talking about, towards this level, and we didn't get there. So you would have had to just like take your profit. Yeah, you could have made let's call it 5x. You could have made 250% on that trade. So that's still good for the daily. It's just that I couldn't issue any target for this because I don't know to where it could go to. The idea I have nowadays is that if there is no target to go to, close it at the daily close
Hmm.
when that day closes. Close it then, which would have been perfect time to close it. Then here the price went up. I actually shorted here, which ended up failing. Even if the price came down over here, it went back up afterwards. That was no good. Um, you could get a nice trade over here by buying at the daily VWAP, and then bouncing up. But again, I didn't know that this would be the level to that would be resistance. My target would still have been 87.7, which was the level I was aiming for, and it failed. It came back down to this daily VWAP and bounced again, and in this flat areas for liquidity, I should be trading the chop. I just wasn't really paying attention to it. Um, I'm building these things. I'm setting up the companies. I'm working with traders posts. Don't have time to trade this day by day. Uh, but what is interesting is that we are still respecting these levels. Like these levels are still being touched by the price. But over here, the touch, even though it came down here, it bounced up a tiny bit and then went back down. So it's very hard to trade. It's very hard to trade these consolidation ranges when it's not a full trend. But with the strategy that I'm running, like over time, you build up, these periods where you lose and then you have these periods where you gain, but the gains are so much bigger, right? At some point here, one of the trades will work out. And let's say I get to 74, I could write 74 all the way up to 250,000.
Right.
So like these are the moves you want to get into, and these are the levels you want to enter in. Not because every single one of them are going to succeed, but when it does succeed, you get these home run trades. We're not sitting here trading 50x leverage to make a couple of nickels. We're here for the money. All right, so that's what happened the week before, and for the week ahead, like I said, I'm expecting the level to aim for is 82 or 81.9. Let's call it 82, but it all depends where we close. If we close below 82, aim for a long to 82 and then short. If we close above 82, enter in at 82 on a bounce with a long to 87.7. Make sense?
Yes.
All right. Um, Other thing I wanted to mention is that I did do some updates to indicators. I did one performance update because anyone who already has the multi-time frame VWAP, yeah, this multi-time frame script, when you see it on the screen, you'll notice that it used to load painfully slowly, because of anyways, it wasn't optimized properly. And now, if we use it, it'll load pretty fast. It takes about 1.4 seconds to load, I believe, and much faster, even with it fully loaded. So very happy about that. And then also, I've added to VWAP Trend an option for to show multi-time frame dashboard. So the first part over here still gives you the trend. That's what you're seeing on the chart. So this is showing, let's say, the daily trend. And then if I want to switch that to the weekly, I can. Always has to be the time frame of the chart you're on and higher. Won't work lower. So we get this. But I constantly wanted to keep checking what the what the state was on other time frames. So now we have this dashboard at the. Let me show you this at the bottom right. You see this dashboard down here?
Yes.
That'll show me the VWAP trend for all the different levels here. So here it's set by default 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, 3 months, which is the defaults here. But you can change it to whatever you want. But it's got to be the time frame you're on or higher. And this will help give you a context that, hey, long term we're bullish, in the medium term we're bearish, on the short term we're neutral, and on scalping daily we're neutral. So you can use that to what you wish. I think I'm going to be upgrading this to be adding what the expected trend will be for the next period. Just like I was saying today, that I think the price should close at 82. Well, if I know that, I could already plan out what the trend will be tomorrow. Um, so I think I'll be adding that in. That'll be helpful, but we'll see that for next week.